Hello everyone, in this video I really want to talk about Game of Thrones and what happened with one of the last episodes. There was a lot of chaos and people were taking it to the internet to complain about something that happened in the episode. Now, I'm not like a fan of Game of Thrones. I don't even watch Game of Thrones. I've only watched one episode a few years and I had to cut that off immediately. It's just not my cup of tea. If you haven't heard by now, apparently there was a Starbucks cup and it managed to appear during the episode. Now they were at Winterfell and the cup, it was just like right in front of somebody. They didn't even try to cover it up or somehow they accidentally let that slip through. Now what I think is that it was an accident. I don't think this was on purpose for anything or some sort of promotion for Starbucks. Like I saw some people saying that, they're like, oh, it's just like a commercial, they're just promoting it. No, you're not going to have like a random Mountain Dew appear there or an energy drink, so definitely weird. The most criticism from this actually doesn't come from people that don't like Game of Thrones, but it comes from the fans themselves. They were really upset that they didn't want to go through and take the time to actually get rid of that to make it more of a real feeling that they would have with their show. So if you see a Starbucks cup, to them, it just makes them feel like the people that are creating the show don't really care about the audience. They went to Twitter to complain about it and made a few memes while they were at it. Now, like I said, I don't watch Game of Thrones, but you would think that the people that are in charge, that are overseeing everything, they would pay more attention because of how popular it is, because of how many people that were, aware of Game of Thrones. There are so many people that are Game of Thrones fans. Hell, you see Game of Thrones on Oreos, on different kinds of food, and it's that popular through advertising that'll end up everywhere, even if you're in the grocery store. So, yeah, you should be a little more aware of your post editing. And yeah, I think that would be something to totally check out. I mean, if I was working for anybody on Game of Thrones set, I would definitely want to make sure that everything was, clear. Another theory that I have, and I'm not really sure about this, but hey, it is kind of a theory, is that they did this on purpose. Is that the person that was editing, they knew exactly what they were doing. They knew when they were editing, they knew that if they put a coffee cup there, a Starbucks coffee cup, just in front of the person, the character that everybody knows and everybody likes, Game of Thrones, and they see that, then people are gonna talk about that, whether it's negative, whether it's positive, free advertisement. I wouldn't doubt it 1 minute. I really wouldn't because of how a lot of things are with our advertisements that we have in our modern day world. And to add on to all of this, apparently Starbucks was making jokes about having a dragon drink, and nobody thought it was funny at all. They're really mad. They're really mad that the Starbucks cup was in there, and it really ruined everything for everybody because they can see that nobody cared. However, today, the executive producer, Bernie Caulfield of Game of Thrones, did admit that it was a mistake. These types of situations have happened on TV shows and on movies, but do you think this is the same type of scenario? Another story came out yesterday that I found semi-related. The man whose fantasy novels were the original inspiration for Game of Thrones, George R.R. Martin, was glorifying Joe Biden's run as a candidate for the president of the United States. He actually said that Creepy Joe's announcement speech was kick-ass. Joe Biden is disgusting. He's a total creep, and being praised like someone like George Martin when you have Game of Thrones going on, I just don't understand that. I can't really put two and two together and figure that out. But then again, the same person allows coffee cups like Starbucks to randomly appear.
Talk about getting it wrong. Look, the degree to which Joe Biden now obviously misunderstands the political moment in his party should be obvious to everyone. He gave a speech earlier where he was talking about apologizing, but not really apologizing for the treatment of Anita Hill during the Clarence Thomas hearings a generation ago when he was the chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee, and she was horribly treated as she came forward to make her accusation. He came out with a very lame explanation explanation and apology for it, and he got the wrath of feminist activists, liberal Democrats, and others. Now we have another accusation that fits within a pattern for Joe Biden that we have seen throughout his career of overdoing it with physical contact with women, strangers, women he meets, women who are there. There was a teenage girl who was present with her family when her father or relative was being sworn into Congress. We have the story of the Deputy Defense Secretary's wife. We've heard these stories before.
It's like he's just pretending that he hasn't seen the photos. And you know what? I don't know. Maybe he is. Maybe he's just pretending to say that he wants to vote for Joe, because I don't understand how anybody would. He probably is just saying that and voting for Trump in the end. If Joe ever got elected, those would be some dark times. Like, it would be very, very dark in this country. Yeah, I definitely don't want that to happen. So at all cost, anybody but that. On that note, I'm going to head out, but you can check out some of my other videos on my channel. There's a lot going on there, so I'll check you next time.